All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. The markets are open. It is approximately...
And then they went and get another.
Oh, crap. Why do you do that? I am live. Yeah, I'm live. Huh, that's interesting. Shit. Fuck. I fucked up. You guys see me, right? Audio isn't good. I'm more worried about the video link. I think I messed up. I think I messed something up on a live stream. Oh.
Yeah, so my audio was also messed up, but I'm more worried about the video. Hold on, give me a second here. I screwed something up. Oh, no, it's working. Interesting. So that was weird what happened. Huh. All right, doesn't matter. All right, we're streaming. Okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. All right, let's go to the charts. As I said in the Twitter, this is going to be a short stream, and I'll tell you why after, so I don't want to waste any more time. And so here is the monthly chart. The monthly chart is on an MRI top, which means I will be concerned for the entire month of what the hell is gonna happen with the price of Bitcoin. Now, a month is an unreasonably long time, especially in Bitcoin and especially in a world of COVID 1984. So this is going to be a pretty stressful month, but let's go and take a look at the lower level time frames. The weekly chart that looked pretty bad yesterday is looking a lot better today. However, we are in the extension B ending with a down arrow, and we're also one candle off an MRI top, which means that I am also concerned on the weekly scale. Now, the daily scale is where I continue to flip-flop where whether I believe we are bullish or bearish. So I was clearly bullish on the 30th of November. I was bearish. Actually, I was neutral on December 1st. I was starting to lean bearish yesterday, and I might be leaning bullish once again today. So why am I leaning bullish today? Well, because we are breaking the average swing high from last week, and this makes me believe that there is a high probability of breaking the all-time high. I have exited more than half of my GBTC position, and I have not yet bought back in, and I'm not going to buy back in today. I will continue to, I'd rather be more cautious with my retirement account than very cavalier, and I'm going to hold off. This is a very bullish looking day. I continue to be concerned. I'm going to leave the arrow here for whatever. I continue to be concerned on the funding rate. We are still favoring the bears a little bit, but not as much as we were a couple of days ago. And we still have lots of divergence between the RSI, with the RSI, and with the MACD, and with the CMF. There's divergence everywhere right now. And the way I teach divergence is when you identify divergence, what you have is a high probability of breaking the prior swing low on the closing basis, which means 17,100 has a higher probability of breaking due to divergence. And I'm going to trust divergence along with my weekly MRI top, along with my monthly MRI top. But I do understand that we are in full FOMO mode, and what's happening politically. And, to me, the virus is also political, but there's also political issues. Then there is the virus political issues. And all of that is somewhat bullish for Bitcoin. I don't want to see humans in misery, but at the moment, the more miserable people are due to actions of politicians, the more bullish it is for Bitcoin. I would rather have my Bitcoin go to zero and live in a capitalistic free world. I would prefer that. At the end of the day, I want what's best for humanity, not what's best for my personal bank account. So if that means I have to stand on a street corner and, I don't know, wash car windows for the world to get rid of communism and the ultra left, and all my Bitcoin go to zero because no one needs Bitcoin because the governments give us freedom of money, then I'd rather take that. I'd rather live in that world than in the current world. But because I live in the current world, I'm going to have some Bitcoin. The only reason why it's rising is because the elites just want to control you. If they didn't, we'd have politically neutral. We would have had politically neutral money for 100 years. So here's the short-term chart, the 1 hour chart. I drew this triangle yesterday. I redrew it later that day because I happened to be looking at charts, and we're clearly broken this triangle. So this triangle actually never really materialized. I can go ahead and delete it. This triangle no longer makes sense. I have absolutely no opinion on the short-term version of Bitcoin. The short-term is actually kind of bullish, but I have a big conflict right now. My daily is about to turn bullish, and the shorter term, like the 4 hour and the 1 hour, are very clearly bullish, but my monthly and weekly my weekly is neutral and my monthly is bearish. So this puts me in a very tough spot where I don't want to do anything with Bitcoin and I just want to watch. As you can see, GBTC is approaching its new all-time high once again. I think it's an all-time high. It is not an all-time high. GBTC had crushed its all-time high back in the day because of the 100% premium. So we're not even close to the all-time high. We're probably about 40% off the all-time high in GBTC, but it is the new high over the last several years. And I still have some GBTC, and I'm not selling it yet, but if we rally to 22, 23,000, I'll probably sell the rest of my GBTC. That's pretty much it. Bitcoin dominance, gold. Here's where I messed up, guys, and I almost have to apologize for it. I did say that I'm looking for a gold reversal around 1750, and we fell to 1760. So I say I was pretty damn close as anyone could have been, because I was calling for 1750 back in the summer. So that's as close as I could have been. So here's where I messed up. I wasn't paying attention on this day, because this day came just a smidge shy of my perfect MRI buy. And yesterday someone pointed out that they were able to buy gold perfectly at the low. And the reason they were able to do that is because they weren't looking at the future of gold, which is what I did. They were looking at the XAU, which is the XAU US dollar, which is the price of gold. So let me see here. I think it was XAU USD. I don't know what. Let me try that one. And look at it on the XAU. So here is the XAU, which is the gold spot rate instead of the gold futures rate. And those that paid attention to the gold spot rate had, like, you can't call this any perfectly. And it's very, very challenging sometimes to pay attention to an asset that has multiple levels of identifying the price. Because I am a trader and I can't really trade the XAU, as a trader, I used to trade the gold future, which is GC1 explanation point. Now, you can't actually trade GC1 explanation point. For those that aren't familiar with the futures markets, because you've never traded them, Let me explain. GC is the gold future. There's GC1 is the explanation. So if I go to GC, you see GC1 explanation point, GC2 explanation point, and then you see the individual expirations. This is how futures work. So this is the December future. Z is December. F is January. G is February. J is April. And then you go straight to June. Notice May is missing. May is not going to be missing for very long. There is always futures 3 months out. Once the December expires, we will have January, February, March. Sorry, March is missing, and also May is missing. March will show up. March will show up once December is ending. Okay. One means GC1 is a rolling futures price of the nearest expiring contract. So right now, GC1 is December, and then a few days until before expiration, it converts into January. So it smooths the transition from one to the other. And GC2 explanation point means the second future. So right now, GC2 is February. And then when December is ending, GC2 is going to be, right now GC2 is January. And then when December comes to an end, it's going to roll to February. So this one is always 2 months out, and this one is always the latest month out. So I like to look at the futures market because that's what I normally trade. But those that were paying attention to the gold spot market would have timed gold absolutely perfectly with the MRI. And I missed it. I didn't. I wish someone would have, given me the heads up. Also on the daily chart of the spot, you were able to get an MRI warning, and then this would have been an MRI top if it didn't actually completely crash. So that was right. So if this was almost an MRI top, but we had the warning right there, and it would have been a double MRI top right there on a daily. And excuse me, guys. And if you look at the spot, the futures market on the daily chart, you did not get it. You didn't get the MRI warning. It was one candle off. So you did, however, get extension B and C ending right there at the top on the future. So it's I guess it's good to pay attention to both sides, to both tickers, the tradable nearest future. And the reason why the nearest one is the most liquid one. So the most liquid future that people trade, and the gold spot, which people also, they don't trade, but they use it to actually buy gold and silver. So so that's kind of disappointing. The MRI wasn't wrong. The MRI was absolutely perfect. But if you looked at the gold spot instead of the gold future, so I just wanted to point that out. And the S&P continues to roll higher. Nothing more to say. It's doing great. All right. So here's where here's where I have to make the stream short, because I have a 4.5-hour video to watch, and I tweeted out the link to the video. Here it is. I'm gonna watch the hearings. I didn't want to watch the hearings. I was busy yesterday anyway, and I have to watch it. Like, I saw some of the clips on people tweeting it out. Some of the clips, and this wasn't covered by the mainstream media at all. And some of these are great. Like, here's one example. But then but you gotta watch. I need to watch the whole thing. But here's one little example.
You're on our list. Did you have a question? Okay. Representative Camilleri.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for your testimony. Going back to the ruling from Judge Timothy Kenny, he writes that your description of the events at the TCF Center does not square with any other affidavits. Yes. He says that there are, excuse me, I'm speaking.
Please, let's let the representative finish, and then you can.
He writes that there are no other reports of lost data or tabulating machines that jammed repeatedly every hour during the count. He also writes that neither Republican nor Democratic challengers nor city officials substantiate your version of these events. The allegations simply are not credible, is what Judge Kenny writes. So my question for you is, you're making claims here today that there's systematic fraud in what's going on in our elections. Are the courts also tied up in that fraud?
Let me tell you what I did by accident, okay? I gave Channel 7 an interview. that they tied in to that and made me the witness is uncredible. Guess what? There's going to be a couple behind me that are going to say the same thing I just said. And
The witness before you was also proven not credible as well.
oh
by the
no,
same
she
judge.
wasn't, because she wasn't even there.
Representative
The very
Camilleri, let's
first
let her
time
finish,
she had
please.
talked. The very
Ma'am.
first time.
So I just want to understand, I don't know what exactly all the things that are being talked about there are, but can you tell us what you said today is the truth? Is that correct?
Sir, I wrote a written affidavit. Yes, it is 100% true.
Okay. And did other people observe this?
Absolutely. Behind me, you're going to hear a couple.
That's not the part I actually wanted to show.
And let
I
me
messed
just
up,
say this.
but it's still
I was
good.
an IT worker on the stage.
Crap.
I was working with Dominion. I had no poll workers were not allowed on the stage. The data loss, nobody would have heard about that besides me, Samuel, and Nick. Okay, just like nobody knows that Samuel went to the Chicago warehouse besides me because I worked for Dominion. They didn't. They're not going to hear that part. That, you know what I mean? The poll workers are not going to know that Samuel. They're not even going to know who he is. You know, they're not going to know that he went to the warehouse.
So I think what Representative Camilleri is asking is perhaps why is it to Representative Steve Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So obviously these allegations are very troubling. This is my question here. If these ballots were run through multiple times, as you've alleged, and you said possibly up to 30,000 times, and definitely thousands of times being counted, when we examine the poll book and see who voted, and we count those numbers,
Yes.
would they then not line up with the total number of votes coming out of Detroit?
Just later. The poll book is completely off. Completely off.
Off
That
30,000?
I'd say that poll book is off by over 100,000. That poll book. Why don't you look at the registered voters on there? How many registered voters are on there? Do you even know the answer to that?
No, I guess I'm trying to get to the bottom of this here.
Zero. There's zero.
So my question then is if the
That's how many. Wait. What about the turnout rate? 120%.
Let's let Representative Johnson ask his question.
so the poll book number, okay, there's two things that could happen here. Either the poll book number, if ballots were counted multiple times, there's two options. Option number one is that the poll book numbers are not going to match.
They don't.
The actual. Not by thousands and thousands of votes. That's how we see right now.
Take a look again. Take a look again.
Option number two is that they essentially were filling in names of people who didn't vote.
That people too?
So is that
Let's
is
let
that
Representative Johnson ask his question, and then when
I thought
he's
that
done,
was it. Okay.
Well, I guess that's my question here is why we're not seeing the poll book off by 30,000 votes. That's not the
What did
case.
you guys do? Take it and do something crazy to it?
I'm just saying the numbers are not off by 30,000 votes. So
I know what I
saying
saw.
that they're filling in.
I know what I saw, and I signed something saying that if I'm wrong, I can go to prison. Did you?
okay,
I'm just asking a legitimate question here.
yeah, let's let Representative Johnson ask his question, and then don't interrupt.
Yeah, so this is going to be very, very interesting to watch. And I'm looking forward to watching it. And she had another awesome part. I don't know if I can find it on Twitter real quick, where they asked her, why aren't more people testifying to the fraud? And she had a ridiculous answer. Basically, she described how badly she was threatened. Oh, here it is. I found it. Check this out. One last thing, and then we're going to stop with the election. I'm going to grab this tweet. I'm going to copy that. Nope, I'm just going to drag it over. I'm tired of doxing everything in my life. So here's another good one. Hold on. We're going to put this at the front, and we're going to put the speaker right to the mic.
Life has been destroyed. My life has been completely destroyed because of this. I've lost family. I've lost friends. I've been threatened. My kids have been threatened. I've had to move. I've had to change my phone number. I've had to get rid of social media. Nobody wants to come forward. They're getting threatened. Their lives are getting ruined. I can't even get an actual job anymore. My life has been destroyed.
Yeah. So when people come out and say there's no evidence, there's evidence. It's just that people are scared to present it. And if that's the kind of country you want to live in, that's a problem. That's a problem. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching the rest of these hearings. I have the link in my YouTube description. I have the link on my Twitter, and I hope you guys do the same. I really hope other people watch these Michigan hearings. She's not the only witness. This thing is 4 hours long. I think she's only there for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then there are other witnesses. So yeah, so we'll go from there. Once again, I mean, I'm just watching Bitcoin here. I have enough exposure that if it cracks the all-time high, cracks 20 grand, I'm happy. Not as happy if I was able to buy at 14, but I'm not. It's a very weird environment right now, and I'm gonna be very, very cautious with it. No, I'm gonna see all of it. I'm gonna watch the entire 4.5 hours. It's basically the rest of my day today, and how I'm spending it. But check, the mempool was pretty clogged. It's slow enough. It's getting better. The mempool was not looking too good the other day, and it's getting much better. Only 53 sats for byte into the next block, so that's pretty good. I think we definitely come down on. Yeah, it got a lot better from the last couple of days. Doesn't look it, but it's a little bit better. All right, guys. That's it. I got nothing else. Disappointed that I wasn't looking at the right gold price to catch the MRI low. And Bitcoin is a bit of neutral right now. I'm not bullish or bearish. So was leaning bearish yesterday, not so much today, obviously, since we rallied a little bit. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next episode. All right. Bye, guys. Sorry, no Q&A today.